I woke up to a ceiling I didn't recognize, washed in harsh white light that made my eyes sting. For a few seconds, I didn't know if it was morning, night, or something in between. All I heard was the steady beep of a monitor beside me, slow and unnervingly calm. A nurse leaned into my blurry vision and said softly, "Ava, you're in the hospital. You fainted. Just relax." Her voice felt far away, like it was reaching me through water. My throat was dry. My left arm was cold from the fore. My head pulsed like someone had stuffed it with cotton. But even in that fog, there was one instinct I couldn't ignore. I reached for my phone. And the world snapped into focus. The first thing on my lock screen wasn't a missed call, not a text from my family checking on me, not even a voicemail from my sister. It was a notification from Instagram. I opened it, and my stomach dropped. My sister, my own sister, had posted a photo with my parents. Matching outfits. Brunch table. Everyone is smiling. And the caption read, "Family Day without the drama." I stared at those 5 words so long the edges of the screen started to blur. They knew I was in the hospital. They knew I'd been taken in an ambulance. My neighbor told them, the EMT called them, and yet they went out. Smiling. Laughing. Calling it Family Day. Without me. Without the drama. My drama. Something in me cracked right then, not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly, the kind of crack that doesn't heal the same way. And if you've ever been the one they blame for everything, the one they exclude, the one they call too emotional, just because you feel deeply, then stay with me. Because what happened next is something no one prepares you for, and you need to hear it. I lowered the phone slowly, my hands shaking, but not from the foredrip. It was the realization settling in, heavy, cold, unmistakable. They weren't worried. They weren't looking for me. They weren't checking in. They were celebrating without me. As if my absence made things better. As if I was the problem. The nurse checked my vitals again and asked gently, "Do you want me to call someone? Family maybe?" I almost laughed. Not a real laugh, the kind that leaks out when pain and disbelief twist together. "No," I whispered, "there's no one to call." She gave me that look, the one nurses give people who say they're alone even when they technically have family. But I wasn't alone. I had parents. I had a sister. They just didn't choose me. And in that hospital bed, with the machine beeping beside me, and my sister's caption burning in my mind, I realized something I should have seen years ago. This wasn't new. This wasn't a one-time mistake. This wasn't an oversight. This was who they had become. And I was finally awake enough to see it. When they discharged me later that afternoon, the sky outside looked washed out, almost colorless. It matched the way I felt, like someone had drained the warmth out of everything I believed about my family. I didn't go home right away. Instead, I sat in the hospital parking lot, seatbelt still on, hands resting on the steering wheel while my phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't Instagram. It was a text message. From her. "Says, hope you're feeling better. Mom said you made things complicated again." I stared at the screen, my jaw tight enough to ache. Made things complicated. Not, "Are you okay?" Not, "Why didn't anyone tell me you fainted?" Not, "I'm coming to see you." Just, blame. Packaged with a soft tone so she could pretend it wasn't. I didn't respond. Because I finally realized something, it didn't matter what she posted or said. She had already decided who I was in her story, the embarrassing one, the emotional one, the drama. She didn't see the girl who stayed up 3 nights straight planning her baby shower. Or the girl who gave up her own savings so she could finish her degree when she couldn't afford books. Or the girl who covered Mom's credit card bill so the collection agency would stop calling the house. She only saw the moments I couldn't keep pretending I was fine. The older sister who was supposed to have my back, never did. I finally pulled the car out of the lot, driving aimlessly, letting the afternoon blur past me. When I reached the old riverside lookout, the one Dad used to take us to when life felt too heavy, I parked again. I sat there until the sun dipped low, until the quiet became comfortable again. That was when my phone buzzed a second time. This time it was Mom. "Mom, Ava, can you stop ignoring your sister's post? She didn't mean anything by it. You always read too deep into things." The irony almost made me choke. They didn't visit me. They didn't call me. They didn't ask why I collapsed. Yet somehow, I was the problem for noticing the betrayal. I typed and deleted 20 different replies before settling on silence again. Silence was new to me. Silence was strength I didn't know I had. The next morning, I woke to another message, but this one wasn't from them. It was from Grandma Ellen. My grandmother had always been the one person who saw me, really saw me. She didn't sugarcoat. She didn't manipulate. She didn't turn my feelings into ammunition. Her message was simple. "Grandma, sweetheart, your parents told me you overreacted. I want to hear your side. Call me when you're ready." That was all. No accusations. No pressure. Just space. I called her immediately. When she picked up, her voice was raspy but steady. "Tell me everything, Ava." And I did. All of it. The collapse. The hospital. The Instagram post. The caption that felt like a knife. She didn't interrupt once. Not even to scold. Not even to defend them. When I finished, the only sound was her exhale, long, sad, thoughtful. Then she said, "Honey, your parents and your sister forgot the difference between loving someone and using someone. I've watched it slowly for years. I hoped I was wrong." Her words weren't comforting, they were clarifying. "They were supposed to come see me yesterday," Grandma added quietly. "They canceled at the last minute. Said it was family day." I see now what that meant. I closed my eyes. Even Grandma had been excluded. Even though she had been lied to. "Come stay with me for a few days," she said. "Clear your mind. You deserve to breathe somewhere that doesn't hurt." I packed a small bag and drove to her little house at the edge of town, the one that always smelled like vanilla and old books. She opened the door before I even knocked, her arms warm and real around me. For the first time in days, something in my chest loosened. We spent the evening talking softly, sipping tea while the old grandfather clock ticked in the background. She listened like my words mattered. Like my feelings were facts. Then she said something that stuck to me like glue, "Ava, I can't make them change. But I can promise you this, when people show you their priorities, believe them." I didn't sleep much that night. Not because of sadness anymore. Because something else was settling in. Clarity. Resolve. A new understanding of myself and my family. The next morning, while Grandma watered her garden, my phone buzzed again. A group chat notification. "Family group, we need to talk soon. This is getting out of hand. Ava, respond. We didn't do anything wrong. Stop making Grandma worry." Dozens of messages. Each more demanding than the last. Not one asked if I was okay. As I scrolled, my hands suddenly stilled, because the last message wasn't from my sister or my parents. It was from an unknown number. Just one sentence. A sentence that made the world tilt under my feet. "Ava, I know the real reason you collapsed. Call me before they erase everything." I read it again. And again. Cold washed down my spine. Because whoever sent it, knew something my own family refused to admit. And they sounded afraid. I stared at the unknown number for so long my coffee went cold beside me. The message sat there on the screen, quiet and terrifying. "Ava, I know the real reason you collapsed. Call me before they erase everything." Everything inside me tightened. My first thought was scam. But scammers don't say things that specific. They don't say things that hit nerves only people close to you understand. My hands trembled as I typed back. Who is this? For a full minute, nothing. Then 3 dots appeared. Then disappeared. Then reappeared. Finally, a reply came. Someone who worked with your father. Call me when you're alone. I stepped away from the kitchen window where Grandma was still tending to her flowers. I didn't want her hearing anything, not until I understood what this was. I walked into the spare bedroom, shut the door, and hit the call button before I could overthink it. The line rang once. Twice. Then a man's voice whispered, Ava. Is that you? My throat felt dry. Yes. Who is this? He exhaled sharply, like he'd been holding his breath for days. My name is Daniel. I used to work at the firm with your father. I shouldn't even be calling, but I didn't know who else would tell you. Tell me what? There was a heavy pause. Why you fainted, he said quietly. And why your family didn't want you at that family day. A chill traveled down my spine. What are you talking about? He hesitated again. I need to be careful. Your father, he covers things well. But there's been an issue at the company for months. A big one. And I think your sister knows. My pulse quickened. An issue like what? A financial issue. Something your dad doesn't want connected to your name. Or anyone else's. I pressed the phone tighter to my ear. Why me? Because you filed some of his paperwork last year, he said. Remember? When he asked you to help him with sorting receipts, scanning old forms, organizing the office? My stomach dropped. Yes, I whispered. I did. You scanned something you weren't supposed to, he said. A document. A transfer authorization with your name on it. My breath caught. My name. It was supposed to be removed. Erased. Deleted. But it wasn't. The auditor found it 2 months ago. I felt the room shift around me. Your collapse wasn't random, Ava, he said. Your father got the call while you were on your way to meet him. They were going to ask you about the document. And your family, they panicked. My hand flew to my mouth as the walls pressed in on me. No, I whispered. No, that can't be, Ava, he said softly, you didn't faint because of stress. You fainted because the auditor called you directly that morning. You didn't answer, so they left a voicemail. My heart hammered. A voicemail? I never saw one. I never deleted one. Unless, my family did. My entire body went cold. They erased it, Daniel said. They erased your notifications before you woke up. I don't know how, but knowing your sister. I'm not surprised. I sank onto the bed, the air heavy around me. Why are you telling me this? I whispered. His voice cracked a little. Because I saw the Instagram post. Family day without the drama. That wasn't a joke. They wanted distance. From you. From the investigation. They think keeping you out of sight keeps you out of trouble. The hurt in me burned into something sharper. So what am I supposed to do? I asked quietly. There was a long pause before he answered. You need to check your old files, he said. The ones you scanned last year. If the document is still there, you need to see it for yourself. Before they erase that too. My breath faltered. Where would it be? I whispered. In your email, he said. Your old archived folder. The one you never use. It's probably still there. He paused again, his voice growing urgent. Ava, listen to me. Whatever you find, don't confront them yet. Not until you know how deep this goes. Then the line went silent. He hung up. I sat frozen for what felt like a full minute, my hands numb, my pulse roaring in my ears. Then I did the only thing I could. I opened my laptop. I logged into the old email account I hadn't touched in almost a year. And as soon as I clicked Archive, my screen filled with hundreds of old files. Receipts. Scans. Forms. Tax documents. Things I hadn't thought about since that summer. My hands shook as I scrolled. Folder after folder, until one caught my eye. A file labeled, transferauth_final_edit 2. PDF. My chest tightened. I clicked it. The document opened. And there it was, my name, printed neatly under a line that read, Authorized signature, Ava Collins. Except, I never signed anything. I never approved anything. And the number on the transfer? It wasn't small. It was 6 figures. My vision blurred, the screen tilting, the room shrinking around me. Because someone had used my name. Attached me to something illegal. And hidden it. Someone in my own family had forged my signature. And when I collapsed from the shock of what the auditor left in that voicemail, they didn't take me to the hospital because they were worried about me. They took my phone. They erased the evidence. And then they left me out of Family Day, because they were protecting themselves. Not me. Not us. Just themselves. I didn't know what hurt more, the betrayal or the realization that deep down, some part of me had always known I wasn't safe with them. And as I stared at my forged signature, still glowing on the screen in front of me, I felt something shift inside me. Not fear. Not grief. Something colder. Something steadier. Because if they thought deleting one voicemail would hide everything, they had no idea what I had just uncovered. And they had no idea what was coming next. I sat there staring at the document until the words stopped being words. My name, printed so neatly on a line I never signed. A transfer amount I would never approve. A file that should have never existed. And suddenly, everything about that day made sense. The collapse. The deleted voicemail. The sudden Instagram post pretending I was the drama. The Family Day that excluded me. They were not protecting me. They were hiding behind me. I printed the file. 1 copy. Then I emailed a second copy to an encrypted folder, just in case. Grandma heard the printer and peeked her head in. Sweetheart, everything all right? I folded the document before she could see it. I found something, I said quietly. I need to handle it. She studied my face, the way only grandmothers can, and nodded. You do what you need to. And remember, people who love you do not fear the truth. I hugged her, then grabbed my keys. I was done hiding. Done wondering. Done letting them write the story for me. I drove back to town, my hands steady on the wheel. There was no plan, not really. Just clarity. Something I had not felt in years. When I pulled into their driveway, their car was there. The curtains twitched. Mom had seen me. I walked inside without knocking. The house smelled the same, but everything felt unfamiliar. Like stepping back into a place where I had once belonged, but no longer fit. Dad was in the living room, his laptop open. Mom hovered nearby, arms crossed. Ava. You should have called first, Dad said. Why, I replied, so you have time to delete things again. Mom stiffened. What are you talking about? I pulled the folded document from my bag and placed it on the table. Dad did not move for a full second. Then another. His eyes widened a fraction. Only a fraction, but it was enough. You forged my name, I said. My voice was calm, almost eerily so. You used me. And when the auditor called me, you panicked. You erased the voicemail and pretended I fainted for no reason. Mom stepped forward. Ava, that is a serious accusation. It is not an accusation, I said. It is a file. With my name. In your handwriting. Dad finally spoke. His voice was low. Where did you find this? In my email archive. The place you thought I forgot existed. Silence bloomed in the room. Thick. Heavy. Real. Mom looked at Dad, then back at me. Her voice softened into that tone she used when she wanted to manipulate rather than comfort. Honey, you do not understand. There were complications. Your father's partner backed out. The company needed a bridge. We planned to fix it. We planned to tell you. You planned nothing, I said. You planned to let me take the fall if the investigation caught up. Dad finally stood. We would never let anything happen to you. Never. You already did, I whispered. You let me collapse on the floor while you worried more about a document than my health. You let me wake up alone. You took my phone before I did. Do you know how terrifying that is? Mom's voice cracked. We were scared. So was I. The room went still. She tried again. Ava, we can fix this. We will talk to the auditor. We will explain. Families make mistakes. Families, I said quietly, also tell the truth. Dad's jaw tightened. The mask cracked for the first time. We did what we had to do. We had no choice. I reached into my bag again and placed a second piece of paper on the table. This time it was not the document. It was a printed email. From Daniel. The man who called me. I had forwarded it to myself. Then printed it. Mom blinked. What is that? It is testimony, I said. From someone who worked with you. Someone who knows what you did. Someone who will talk if I ask him to. Their faces drained of color. Then I pulled out the last thing. A small voice recorder. I clicked it. Their voices filled the room. Dad, we did what we had to do. We had no choice. Mom, we planned to fix it. We planned to tell you. I stopped the recording. Their eyes were wide now. No more excuses. No more half-truths. I am not here to destroy you, I said softly. I am not here for revenge. Not the kind you imagine. Mom swallowed. Then what do you want? I want my life back, I said. All of it. Peace. Boundaries. Distance. And I want you to understand that I am not the problem. I am not your scapegoat. I am not your shield. Dad looked away, his voice breaking for the first time. Ava, please. No, I said. You do not get to ask for grace while offering none. Mom's eyes filled. If you go to the auditors, the company will collapse. We could lose everything. I nodded. That is the weight of your choices. Not mine. She took a shaky step toward me. Ava, we are your parents. We love you. I stepped back. Love, I said quietly, is not supposed to feel like this. Dad sank into the chair. I had never seen him look old before. But he did now. Very old. Very small. Mom whispered, so what happens now? I looked at both of them. At the people who raised me. At the people who hurt me. At the people who would never see the damage until someone forced them to look at it. I am not going to the auditors, I said. Not today. Their shoulders sagged with relief. But I sent a copy to an attorney, I continued. And to myself. And to a secure cloud. So if anything happens to me, or to the files, or to Daniel, or to Grandma, the truth goes exactly where it needs to. Their relief died instantly. I picked up my bag. You have one chance to fix this yourselves. One. For the sake of whatever is left of this family. Mom's voice trembled. You would blackmail us. No, I said softly. I am protecting myself. Something you never did. I walked toward the door. Dad whispered, Ava, please do not go. We can fix this. I paused only once. And for the first time in my life, I said the words I should have said years ago. You fix your mess. I am fixing myself. Then I walked out of the house I used to call home. The cold air hit my face like the truth. Grandma called me as I sat in the car. Sweetheart, how did it go? I breathed out. A long, steady breath. I finally chose me, I said. She exhaled, soft and proud. Then you made the right choice. As I drove away, my phone buzzed once more. A new notification. A message from an unknown number. No name. Just one line. Ava, they are meeting with someone later today. You are not finished with this. Not yet. And the way my heart dropped told me one thing, my story with them was only getting started.